Okay, so for Up and Vanish discussion this week, I mainly just took notes throughout the podcast. So first it like starts off with the arrest on Ryan Duke, and like how the GBI brought him in to question him, and that's when he like admitted to like the crime he did, and then he like led the GBI to where he burned her body. He was a student 3 years before this crime occurred, which was like, oh, and then like the friend, the interview, he like said that he never thought that he would ever do something like that. He does think that Ryan didn't do it himself, and that was like before they like mentioned the other person and before they mentioned the person's name. He did say that the other person was off. This was like before they like name dropped the other suspect, and they asked. I don't remember if he asked or he just said it, but he was just like, he described the other suspect as crazy and seemed off, which was like, okay. I note that down before I like the name dropped the other guy. And then the party story that the like a couple weeks after Tara disappeared, Ryan Duke was talking about killing her. Talked about like he killed her, and like he dumped her body in a pecan orchard, which is like what? Why didn't they investigate more on that? I think he was like drunk when he said that. You know what they say, drunk thoughts are sober thoughts. Okay, so and then there was another kid they mentioned, but they still hadn't name dropped them. But they were looking for this kid. And then like towards the end, they were like, oh yeah, they knew about the story and like about the pecan orchard. Like, what? How come they didn't investigate more on that? And then like that's when they finally name dropped Bo Dukes. Such a weird name, but Payne's dad called him and like was like, oh yeah, my friend got this called by the GBI because they found Tara's body on this pecan grove. Like, it belonged to Randy Hunson, I think I recall. They also mentioned that his nephew is missing, and that nephew turned out to be Bo Dukes, which is like, what the heck? Like, but again, going back to his friend, he says that he doesn't think he's alpha enough. He definitely does not. He like just mentions like he did not do this by himself. Like, he described him as like sad and like a softie. He just doesn't see him doing it. Which is like, I don't know. Ryan didn't have a criminal record, but on the other hand, the other Dukes did. He got arrested with his wife for like robbing like lots of money from the military, I think I recall. Which is like, what the heck? Why would they do that? That's such a like a awkward crime to do. But also tying back to like them knowing about like the pecan orchard. Like if they knew earlier, like years earlier, why did they not investigate more on that? Like, why did they fail to act into like investigating like I feel like if they were doing their jobs more correctly, they would definitely could have solved this like a long time ago. But like after like the girls like, oh yeah, we already knew that, this and that, like if you guys knew that, how come you guys didn't investigate more on that? Even if people thought he was like drunk and like they didn't actually like mean anything he was saying, they could have still like investigated more on it. But I don't know, those are just like my thoughts. But he did like go back to like revisits, and like I don't know, I feel like they definitely could have done things more differently to like catch these two suspects a long time ago if they would have investigated more thoroughly. But I feel like they were able to solve this case because of Payne, because he reopened the case and like he did his own investigation on the podcast and stuff like that. And I feel like that helped a lot with like interviewing and like the news and stuff like that. I feel like it did lead them to like more to an open case. But yeah, I recall Bo does plead guilty to concealing the death and hindering prosecution, while Ryan, the other Duke, faces like murder charges. And I do agree, I forgot who said it, but I feel like they should have gotten the same charges just because they both like acted the same. Like, I don't know, I forgot his name, but he's like, they should get the same like equal charges, you know. But those were my thoughts.